Yeah, well, the situation is going to be pretty simple. We're going to have a hurricane that's going to be slow moving, that's going to traverse the state from southwest to northeast. As it does that trip, the trip all the way from the southwest coast all the way to east of Orlando and eventually off the east coast, it's not going to be a quick trip. The only positive is that as it continues to move inland, the weakening process will begin to accelerate. So obviously, the storm by Orlando or in eastern Polk County is not going to be as strong as the storm is right now. The energy source for hurricanes is warm water. Once it moves away from the water, the energy source is cut off. That and the friction from the land causes tropical systems to kind of spin down. But that process is not, you don't just go like that and you're done. It takes a while to kind of spin things down. Winds have been gusty. We got a gust at 70 in St. Pete. Now, in this type of situation, the winds in St. Pete are always higher because the wind blows from northeast to southwest across the open bay. So it gives you a really good idea. 70 gusts, sustained 51. We had that gust in Punta Gorda of 124. Let me kind of move off this screen. I want to take a better look at the winds. Sarasota, gust 71. Venice had a gust of 79, sustained 42. We lost some of our observation stations, some data problems from Fort Myers. Probably the wind knocked it out. Tampa had a gust of 62. These little squalls that are going by now, when you lose your power, it's typically, you get like in these hurricane situations, you'll get a time to just rain. All of a sudden, a big squall goes by. The wind really goes crazy. The rain comes down. All of a sudden, the lights flash, and you're done with power. It's typically those squalls that will end up making you lose power. Just think about it. It affects a tree, branch. Basically, a tree falls, branch falls, wire, power's out. I mean, that's really the extent of it. And it's those squalls that do that. Clearwater, all the winds around Tampa Bay continue to blow from northeast to southwest and continue to drain the bay. Now, over time, when the hurricane is well east of us, the winds will start going the other way. The water is going to come back, but we just know when hurricanes are moving away from us, the storm surge threat is greatly diminished. So could there be some high water later tonight or tomorrow? It could be some, but don't forget, the bay's got to fill up again, and then it has to get higher than that. So that's not going to happen quickly. There could be some high water, but if we escape Tampa Bay north with a storm surge 1, 2, maybe 3 feet, I think that I'd consider that a big win, especially when a couple of days ago we had a hurricane forecast to be here and a 10-foot storm surge coming up the bay. That's not going to happen. And in fact, 5 feet's not going to happen. Maybe some higher water on the backside. Let's show you live radar and see what's going on. This is the problem here. These are the bands going by. So we've had these multiple squalls kind of pivot, even Citrus, even Hernando, even Pasco. It rains lightly, and all of a sudden you're sitting in your house, you hear everything kind of rumble a little bit outside. And then maybe the shutters hitting the house a little bit, and then that goes by, there's a lull, and then another squall goes by. You can see them kind of all rotating. Here comes one, and they move fast. I mean, they go with the wind flow. So they're moving to the west about 70 miles an hour, so they don't last long. Once in a while, kind of the eye wall kind of spins rain to the northwest. This is really heavy. This is northern Hardee County through all of Manatee County. This is Lakewood Ranch right now is getting hit hard, and we'll zoom in. So what we'll do tonight, when you're with us, is we're just going to watch the progression of the eye wall, and we're going to watch the eye wall eventually weaken, and that's going to be good. We did the same thing with Irma, and we kind of watched that eye wall go from south to north, almost up the spine of the state. This eye wall will gradually weaken, but again, this is not an immediate process. It's going to take time. By this time tomorrow, we're going to have probably a tropical storm on the map, and then if it goes away, and then finally we can talk about better weather later Thursday right into the weekend. But for now, it is Venice, it is Port Charlotte, and I tell you, for anyone that's watching us right now in Venice, Northport, Englewood, really anywhere in Sarasota County, it's really how long it's been lasting. I mean, this has been going on now for 5-6 hours. So when you talk about a hurricane event, in most cases, it's a couple of hours, the weather's really bad, and then the weather starts improving. This is the type of situation where you're sitting at home going, when is it going to stop? it's still got a ways to go, because you look out over the Gulf and there's still bad weather out here, and anywhere inside this eye wall, you've got winds sustained at least 90 to 100. Got a sustained gust in Punta Gorda 124. So if you're living here at your home, you probably have witnessed winds at some point over 100 miles an hour. That's a big deal. The storm is onshore. It made landfall on the north side of Captiva. Kind of in the same spot, you think, kind of the same spot Charlie did. Very close to the same spot Charlie made landfall, and the trip across the peninsula is going to be fairly close. Now, when you compare the two, obviously, the wind field from Ian is much larger than Charlie, and that's really an important point going forward. We'll talk more about this and a lot more tonight. Now back to the news desk.